Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend and that this week has started okay for you as well. We made it through Monday, and hello to you guys in the live chat room tonight. Let me see if I can get you guys up on screen in order to see who's in the house. And we have Neil just going through there, Patrick, Valerie, Maria, Pamela, Constantia, and Carl, and Jennifer as well. And Laurie's about to be going through, and we have a new deputy in the live chat room, and you can just see Lynn is going through there. So you can see that Lynn has a wrench next to her name. She has been made deputy for tonight and also for potential future live streams as well, depending on how many moderators are available, all that kind of stuff. But a huge hello to Lynn going through again there, getting the messages in. And welcome everybody to tonight's live stream. You might be able to see at the top of your screen somewhere that there's currently a poll going on, because I was checking the requests over on Patreon before starting the live stream, and when I was counting up which cover songs were requested, it was between Behind Blue Eyes and A Design for Life. So there should be a poll at the top of the comment section where you can click or vote for whichever cover you want to hear later on. So at the moment, looking at it, Behind Blue Eyes has got 73% of the vote, and A Design for Life is at 27% of the vote. So you can click on that, and whichever one you want to hear, it's going to have to be a little bit of a resurgence for A Design for Life, because it's 73-27 at the moment. But hopefully you guys can see that at the top of the comment section. Anyway, moving on to my patrons, because they make this possible in the first place, and a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. Their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout this whole live stream, and they do with every single live stream. So a massive thank you to these people at the bottom of the screen for making this possible. Every single video that I do possible on the channel, with the analysis videos and the cover videos that I've done as well, and just a massive thank you. If you want to get involved yourselves, head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. That is the address if you want to get your name on the live streams, or if you want to support the channel and just help things continue into the future with all of the analysis videos and everything that I do. That's the place to go. So let me remove that as well. And I know that there have been a couple of donations that have disappeared, as they always do whenever we start the live stream, but I'm just going to change my screen so that I can see the donations that came in on the super chat window before we went live. And Ginny donated $15. Thank you for that. And the message is, "Hi Phil, this is in honor of singer-songwriter Ron Ryan and Beverly Fine Art, who is having health issues. Take care." So thank you for that, Ginny, and all of our well wishes to Bev, and hopefully everything is working out okay and is going to improve in the future. That's what we all hope for. I'm sure that those thoughts are echoed in that live chat room. But thank you, Ginny, for that donation, and the message for Bev as well. And Orlando has donated $2 and says spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. So as always with Orlando, we get the mug out, and here is the spike the likes. If you do click on that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated as you come through the door, because we are aiming for, I don't know how many likes it is tonight, and I might have to work it out in order to get everything on screen. It's 265. I am reliably informed by Carla. That is going to be what we're aiming for tonight. So 265 likes, and I'll see if I can at least get the live likes up on screen. So we've got 95. It's actually just changed to 99. And anyway, so spike the likes, hit that thumbs up, be much appreciated. And we've just gone past 100, so 101 likes so far, and we're aiming for 265, but hopefully I'll be able to get that up on screen. Let's see what it says. It does say 265, so it's correct, and that is now showing on screen, which is excellent. But I do know that from the last live stream on Saturday, there was a discount code which now isn't going to be possible on spring.com, so I'm going to have to manually take that out because I don't want you guys going over there, putting in the wrong code and not getting a discount. That was only for the weekend, but hopefully you guys managed to make it over to spring.com in order to make the most of that. But if you didn't, you can still head over there and get any of the merchandise by clicking on any of the merchandise in the tray underneath this video. The hoodies, the pint glasses, all of the stuff that we've got going on, the t-shirts. So you can click on the tray underneath this video or just head to spring.com. There's a link in the description below to check out all of the merchandise. So anyway, thank you Orlando for that donation and Ginny for that donation as well, because those were the two that came in before we went live, and it is a bit of a pain that it disappears, but this seems to be something that is happening now on YouTube. It's been happening for quite a few months where people donate and then the donations disappear as soon as you go live, which I think is a little bit silly. But anyway, let me get the PayPal donations window up on screen as well, because there has been a little bit of action in there. So thank you for this donation, Steve, and I'll see if I can get this up on screen so you guys can see it as well. Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that. And scrolling down, the message is, did you watch any of the US Open? Have you played any of the courses where they play the British Open? Most are public courses. So thank you for that, Steve. And I did see a tiny bit of the US Open, but when I say a tiny bit, I think it was probably like one shot. And while I was skipping through channels, at the moment in the UK, it's just the European Championship, the soccer, that's being shown quite a lot. And England played tonight and we won 1-0 and we're through to the knockout stages of the competition, which is great. And not as good news for Scotland because they were in the same group as England and they got eliminated today, which is a shame. But England keep on going through. So I haven't watched a lot of the golf, unfortunately. And I'm not really one of these people, as you can tell, because I'm in this room most of the time. I'm not one of these people that goes traveling around playing golf and playing lots of different courses. I just play at a local course if I've got the opportunity to do that and the time to do that. So yeah, I haven't played at many courses, and I think I'd want to be a little bit better than I am at the moment so that I can play on courses that are more restrictive and more difficult to play, even though the course that I do play on is a championship course. So it is quite difficult, and I think it's probably quite good to get quite good on a championship course. So then when you play on more public courses, it's then a little bit easier, or at least fingers crossed that is going to be the case. And it tends to be just the distances. I think the course that I just play on when I have the time is about 7,000 yards or 7,500 yards, something like that. So it is a long course, and I know that there are other courses that are about 6,500 yards or 6,000 yards, which means you don't have to hit the ball as far, obviously, with the lower yardages. So the shorter the courses, the easier it is to play. And the one that I play on has got water everywhere and bunkers all over the place. It's actually a little bit over the top with bunkers. There's just a bunker everywhere. So yeah, definitely a challenge. But yeah, I want to be a little bit better if I was going to be playing at other courses. But yeah, I haven't played on any of the competition courses or the courses from the British Open. And certainly here in the UK, the weather is the main thing that stops golf because of the wind, the driving rain as well. So yeah, it is a bit more the case that you just play golf when the weather allows it, rather than just choosing, oh, I'm going to play golf on that day because the weather's probably not going to be very good. So yeah, we just wait for the weather, and it's pretty much downhill now to the end of the year. We will see what happens. Hopefully there is going to be a summer of some description. We had 2 weeks recently that were quite warm, but then we've gone into rain again for the last week, maybe 2 weeks, I can't remember. But yeah, back into the standard rain here in the UK. So not very good for golf at all. But anyway, thank you, Steve, for that donation. And as you guys can see on the screen, the donation percentages are up there just so you guys are in the loop. That the super chat donations, 35 to 45% go to YouTube, and with the PayPal donations, just 3 to 5% go to PayPal. So that is why the PayPal donations window is up on screen and has changed from that super chat window that we used to have. So, moving forward into this live stream, last night I did post an update, as I always do, on Patreon, just letting you guys know what I've done for that day. It was pretty much answering emails. I did have quite a lot of emails that came in yesterday and the day before. Actually, last night there was just an influx of emails for some reason, so I was getting through those. But late last night, and it was after I did the update over on Patreon, so it wasn't part of the update, but I was speaking with Steve Stevens, and Steve has recently just moved house, so I've mentioned over on Patreon that he's going to be featured in Under the Spotlight. So he's going to LA for, I think, the next week. So we're going to be organising it for him to get his solo down on the 28th, between the 28th and the 3rd of next month. So it might be the case that for Steve's solo, it will be not next month, but the month afterwards. And we might be taking a look at Daniel Donato next month, who you guys will know from the channel if you've been watching for any length of time, with his Cosmic Country, because he has sent in a solo as well. So we've got a couple of Under the Spotlights lined up, but just to let you guys know that Steve is still in the game for the Under the Spotlight. He's still up for it, which is great, and he's just taking a little bit of time to move house. And as he said to me yesterday, he's living out of boxes at the moment. Unfortunately, he's still waiting on his furniture to get delivered to his house, so he's just moved, and yeah, unfortunately he's got nothing to sit on and no furniture has been delivered yet. So he's hoping that he can get back into the swing of things, and it's just been a little bit of a delay on Under the Spotlight, but I don't think that we can complain. I mean, Steve Stevens, he's such a nice guy as well, but it'll be great to have him on Under the Spotlight, not in a week or 2 weeks time, but probably in 4 to 5 weeks time, but that'll be great. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight in the live chat room for this live stream, and I generally do have a lot of things going on at once, so just trying to keep ahead of everything. Also, the fact that the subscribers keep on coming, which is great. So thank you guys for hitting that subscribe, as well as the thumbs up, but for hitting the notification bell as well. That is the way to never miss a video in the future, to get notifications for these live streams as well that happen on a Tuesday and a Saturday night. And it's always at 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, so that's 12 a.m. And we are going to be having a pick roulette tonight, so look out for that later on. And just to reiterate the rules or the guidelines that I mentioned on Saturday, just in case you didn't see on Saturday, with the pick roulette, what's happening now is, once we've had the pick roulette for the evening, which happens towards the end of the live stream, you then put your I agree. If we do hit the likes goal, which is 265 for tonight, if we hit that goal, then you type I agree and you tag Carla Murray in the chat room. So then you can get your name added to the next wheel's pick roulette. But make sure that you do that after we've done the pick roulette, because then it's easier for Carla to get all of the names, and it's going to be a lot more reliable to get everybody's names on that wheel, because sometimes there's a glitch on YouTube earlier in the live stream, whereas if Carla knows when to look for all of those messages, then it makes it a lot easier. So, and only post I agree once, so only comment that in the live chat room, so it just makes it a lot easier and a faster process for Carla to sort that all out. And a huge thank you to the moderators for doing such a great job in that live chat room. Not quite, I was going to say in the super chat window, but in the super chat window, sometimes there has been a donation. It hasn't happened for a while, but there has been a donation that's had a message that's then been retracted before it's been put up live by the moderators. So thank you for keeping an eye on that super chat window as well as the live chat room. But like I said, it hasn't happened for a while, and you've got to admire the dedication to get your message across or to try and troll on the live stream and actually donate money to me to try and troll it. So, you know, you've got to respect the amount of dedication. But thank you to the moderators for doing such a great job in all of the windows. And you can see that Lynn's going through for the first time tonight as well. There with Carla, just going through. So welcome, Lynn, to that moderator team, the new deputy, as I mentioned earlier. So I think we have had another donation that's come in on the PayPal site, on the in the PayPal window, which I will now refresh and get into, because Leilani has donated £10. Thank you for that. And I am going to be very jealous of Leilani because we have the first ever Wings of Pegasus tumbler that has now been delivered. So thank you for ordering that, Leilani, and congratulations for being the first, to my knowledge, to have received a tumbler. And this is something that I definitely want because I've never had one, and I think it's going to suit my needs quite a lot, because it looks like, if maybe Leilani can take a picture, or if you're not on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook, then maybe we're not going to be able to have a look at it. But I actually want to see what it looks like, because it looks like it might have a plastic lid that you can take off, and I quite like the idea of having a cup or a mug type of thing, or a tumbler. I don't really know what a tumbler is. That's why I want to get my Wings of Pegasus tumbler. And tumbler. I don't think tumbler is a thing, but maybe we can make that up into a random piece of merchandise. The tumbler that comes with a free tumbler. But anyway, the tumbler, it looks like it's got a little seal on the top. And it might have, I don't know. So I'm waiting to see just a picture of what one looks like, because I think that would be really good to have that ability to actually drink quite a lot at a time, because I think sometimes when you do have a bottle, and nowadays they've got really small nozzles on the bottle so that you can't get much liquid into your mouth, whereas sometimes I just like to drink like I'm drinking out of a mug or a glass, so that would be quite good. But I don't know what it looks like. We will have to wait for the first ever picture, and it won't be on tonight's live stream, so fingers crossed for Saturday that we can maybe get the first Wings of Pegasus tumbler up on screen. But anyway, let me just move this live chat down. Actually, I'm going to move it up so you guys can see this poll that should be running in the live chat room. We are at 79% for Behind Blue Eyes and 21% for A Design for Life, and that's for the poll, and that is for the cover that's going to be played later on. So I'm just going to scroll down so you guys can see the live chat room rather than the poll. Hopefully you guys can see the poll at the top of your chat or the live stream live chat room. But anyway, so those are the figures so far. You can still vote for that. Click on whichever one you want, but it looks like it might be Behind Blue Eyes tonight. It seems to be steamrolling the opposition of A Design for Life. But thank you, Leilani, for that donation and for buying the tumbler as well. We have had a couple of donations in the super chat window as well. So thank you, Patrick, for this $5 donation. And the message is, Hola, Phil. Hope you are well. Hey, can you talk about how different the way you play guitar in disco music versus regular pop music? Thanks. So thank you for that, Patrick. And it just depends on the groove, really. I tend to say that in classic kind of disco, generally there'd be a lot of muted strumming. There's a lot more wrist involved in the action. I might grab my guitar to give you guys just a very quick demonstration with this is going to be difficult to hold because I want to try and get everything on screen. But anyway, I suppose I don't even need a chord to play, because when I talk about the rhythm, I'm talking about this right hand. And hopefully you can hear that. Maybe it's a little bit quiet, but anyway, you've got this. That kind of approach, there's a lot more going on there. And I'm trying to think of a disco tune, but I can't think of it. Obviously, the Bee Gees come to mind. I don't want to get any copyright infringements or anything. I'm going to have to think. I'll tell you what. Let's maybe throw that out to the live chat room because I can't think of a disco tune at the moment. But if you guys can think of a disco tune, and then I'll try and raid my memory to remember how it goes, or at least roughly what it sounds like, and I will demonstrate it on the guitar a little bit later on. But generally, you've got a little bit more of the right hand rhythm going on, and the rhythm's very much up front, as you would expect with disco, because you're wanting to dance to it. The most important part is the rhythmic element, the percussive element. That's why on the guitar, when you're playing more disco orientated stuff, you want to make the most out of the percussion of your instrument. And that's with the guitar, like I demonstrated there. When you're muting strings, that's effectively turning your guitar into a drum kit, because you're getting your downstrokes on the beats of the bar, you're getting your upstrokes happening in between those beats, and that's where you get the syncopation of emphasizing in between the beats, which really gives it that lift. And you want to be emphasizing that in disco, and you'll start to get a bit of a funky groove to it, which is what I've mentioned in other videos, where syncopation comes in, where you're just constantly on the off beat, so you get that lift, and you'll certainly get that in disco. And we'll try and think of a song that I can play through a little bit later on to demonstrate it. And there's got to be a Bee Gees tune that I just can't think of. You Should Be Dancing, maybe. We'll have a little look at that. I'm just trying to remember how it goes. All I can hear is the riff. And I think there's wah-wah as well in there. So that's another thing to point out, is that when you're emphasizing the strumming on the guitar, if you've got your wah-wah pedal going as well, it means that you can get particular strums to pop out, because you can open up your wah-wah pedal, which will then really exaggerate the top end of your guitar, and vice versa. For then when you close, or you put your heel onto the wah-wah pedal, it means that it's now going to take all of that top end out, and that's why you get that wah. That's all that's happening, is like saying wah with your mouth, is opening up the sound, and it's opening up the frequency. That's why if you say wah with your mouth closed and you go woo, it's not bright, because the sound is closed. As soon as you go wah and open up your mouth, you get that wah sound. So that wah 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 wah, which you can see a lot of guitarists do with their mouth when they're playing with a wah wah pedal. They are literally singing the notes that they're playing, but also they're getting the sound that they want to come out of the amp, and with their foot they're kind of simulating exactly where they want that to happen. And a lot of players just can't help but go wah with their mouth when they're playing with the wah wah pedal. But anyway, in disco you will find a lot of wah wah pedal to emphasize particular strums, just to get it to pop out, because again, like I said, you want to maximize the amount of percussion and the percussive element of your instrument. But anyway, thank you for that, Patrick. And we've had another donation from Brother Mangill, so thank you for that, and it's for $5, and the message is, love you, Phil. Cheers, bruv. Can you please review Black Snake by Atomic Rooster? They are some groundbreaking lads. Keep on rocking, bruv. So thank you for that. And I'm just trying to think if Atomic Rooster are on my request list already. I think they might be. And if you've requested that before, then I would have put that on the list. But if not, they will definitely be on there by the end of tonight's live stream. So thank you for that. And Jeannie has donated $5 as well. Thank you for this, Jeannie. The message is, hi, Phil and Wingers. Fell asleep but woke up in time, with a smiley face. Suggest hot stuff from Donna Summer for disco song. So thank you for that, Jeannie. And that is a good shout, and kind of classic disco there. I'm just trying to remember, because of course, as soon as you think of it, all you hear is the chorus, and you hear Donna Summer's voice, and you don't hear the backing or the guitar. But I'll try and figure it out, have a little listen. I won't be able to listen to it in the live stream, because then obviously if I'm listening to it, you guys will be able to hear it, and then we'll get a copyright infringement or a strike, or the crazy stuff that's happening now with the live streams on YouTube. I could get an instant strike, and then a block and a warning and all that kind of stuff. So I'll have to try and think of it while the video is playing and try and demonstrate it. But anyway, thank you for that, Jeannie, and a good suggestion there. Patrick has donated $5 again. Thank you for that. The message is, how about Funky Town or Jive Talking? So thank you for that, Patrick. And that's another good shout. And Jive Talking, that might be one. I'm trying to think. It's so difficult to hear a song when you're talking and you're not thinking about the song. So I'll need a little bit of silence to try and get the song in my head. But certainly, good suggestions here. And Maria has donated $2 and says Jive Talking again. So maybe we'll have a little look at Jive Talking if possible. Maybe if I played it for about a second or 2 seconds, then we might be able to get a vibe on the rhythm for it. But anyway, thank you for those donations. And Carl, who's just popped in there with a $5 donation as well. Thank you for that, Carl. And the message is, ever thought of using a voice box? Oh yeah, cross the pond. I won't relent until we can make it happen. So thank you for that, Carl. And with the voice box, I've never used one. I haven't really felt the need to use one yet for my own playing. And I guess it might have been good when I was doing the Bon Jovi cover. I'm trying to think as well. I mean, Peter Frampton, for example, another one of those players that used it so well. But just having the tube in my mouth, obviously you need to have one in the first place. It's not something that I have purchased or ever had the need for. It would just be something that I'd use to test it out and see what it's like, but I have never used one before. It's never really popped up in my own original music, and even for the Bon Jovi cover that I did, and that was You Give Love a Bad Name, and that was with Sina. Check out Sina if you get a chance, female drummer here on YouTube. And so I collaborated with her on You Give Love a Bad Name, and for that I just played it straight on the guitar. I didn't have the voice box, unfortunately. But thank you for that, Carl. And we are at 155 likes so far. If you can give that like button a click, it'll be much appreciated. We are aiming for 265 tonight, and 155 is where we are at. Let's do some maths. That's 110 is what we're looking for before the end of this live stream, and it's just gone midnight here in the UK. So things are moving along. But thank you, Carl. And in the vote, it's still 79% behind Blue Eyes. So that might be behind Blue Eyes. I have uploaded both of those to the Software Tonight, a Design for Life as well. So whichever is going to win the poll, then we will have a listen to. But there's been 137 votes on it. So thank you guys for voting in the poll as well. This is the first one that I've ever done on a live stream, because I saw the button, I think last week, that was next to the super chat and the smiley face, and I clicked on it just to see what it was, and it was a poll, even though I didn't create one. So I thought it'd be good just to put one out there, and it might be good for merchandise and stuff for you guys to vote on what you want to have. So merchandise wise, I think there might be the opportunity to maybe have posters. If you guys would be interested in those, you can let me know over on Patreon. I did mention that, I think, last night in the update, so you guys can let me know whether you would like posters available as merchandise from the spring.com store. But if so, then I can get on organising that with Stephanie over at spring.com as well. So thank you as well to Carla, who has donated $4.99, and the message is, Casey and the Sunshine Band, I'm your boogeyman. So thank you for that, Carla. So we've got some good suggestions here and requests for a little bit of disco. I'll probably only choose one just because of the whole copyright thing. Because even if I just pick up a guitar and play a few chords of it, that nowadays counts. So I'll have to be very careful with how I do it. Maybe I'll transpose it into a different key, so then it doesn't really count. So we will get into that maybe after the cover video. We're going to be taking a look, just one picture tonight, and then we do have the pick roulette coming up later on as well. But thank you guys for these very kind donations, and just to go over to this PayPal donations window as well, because Mark has donated £13.75. Thank you for that, Mark. And just scrolling down, hi Phil, saying hello from Abingdon, VA, USA. So where is VA? I know that, is that Virginia maybe? I'm not sure. Virginia has a V and an A in it, but maybe that's a VI. I don't know. I don't really know how the states work over in the USA. But thank you for that, Mark. And it continues, love your site. So thank you for the kind words as well. And I'm glad that you enjoy the videos and that you just watch them in the first place. Thank you everyone for watching, liking and subscribing. It is much appreciated. As I always say, as long as you guys request videos and you're watching them, I will keep on making them. So let's scroll up, because Deborah has donated £5. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, spike the likes. Great idea from Deborah. Hit that thumbs up if you do get a chance. We're at 175 likes, closing in on that 200 landmark. 25 more likes to go to 200. But this is actually quite good on the live streams. I get to test my maths, and I think it is helping me in day-to-day life, because normally I don't have the need to do any kind of calculations. But just being in the live stream, it means that I'm calculating things that are actually quite a challenge for me. I'm not very good at maths, but that is good that we've got 25 to go until hitting 200. And 90 to go until we hit the target of 265. So fingers crossed we can make it by the end of the live stream. And Lucy has donated £2.20. Thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, spike the likes with a thumbs up. Instead of disco, how about funk? Play that funky music by Wicked Cherry. Get Off Your A and Jam by Funkadelic. Both have great guitar solos with some Rock Holds a Heart and Peace. So we had a little bit of a spelling adjustment there. So thank you for that, Lucy, and for doing that on the Funkadelic tune as well. So, yeah, I mean, funk is one of those genres that is very similar from a rhythm perspective on guitar when you're emphasizing off beats. You're going between those beats. You're playing syncopated rhythms. And that is certainly something that we've looked at here with James Brown. I've done a few videos on where you do get that kind of funky groove in there that's on the offbeat, which is going to make you kind of jump up and down and feel like dancing. So there's a lot of similarities from a rhythm perspective when looking at disco and funk. So it is something that I think when you learn to play the guitar and you start experimenting with different rhythms and you get that freedom in the right hand, you can start to play different genres. You don't have to learn how to play funk or how to play, or in terms of rhythmically, or how to play disco. You can just do it because you just copy the rhythm that's going on. You don't have to learn a particular style. You can already do it as long as you've got control of that right hand, and you can just manipulate the downstrokes and upstrokes and just keep that wrist really loose. That's the most important thing for just playing really solid and funky rhythm if you want it. So thank you for that, Lucy. And we've had another donation. This has come in from Joan, and it's £25. Thank you so much for that, Joan. And the message is, a big shout out to our excellent moderators, and congrats, Lynn, on your new blue wrench with a winking face. So thank you for that, Joan. And yes, welcome, Lynn, to the new deputy on the rounds, I guess that's what we call it here in the UK, or maybe on the beat. We also call it that in the UK, where you're a police officer. So I guess same kind of thing, being a sheriff and a deputy. So we've got Lynn, who's on the beat tonight, just checking everything's all right in that live chat room. And thank you, Joan, for that donation. And there has been another one that has come in, And I'm just going to wait for it to refresh as we skip up, because Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. And it is a straight up donation. And Lucy has donated £1 just to say dance spell check, it's wild cherry. And thank you for that, Lucy. I did mention about this slight change in spelling within the message, but yes, it's a wild cherry, of course, and not whatever it was. I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Wike, I can't remember, but I think everyone knew. It's spell check is going to be the death of everybody, because especially when you're typing quickly and you don't look up, happens to me all the time on my computer, where you type the message and then you press enter without checking your message, and it's changed what you've written. And that is the case, and has been the case, unfortunately, for Lucy, but I think we all knew anyway with that first message, so don't worry about that. And thank you for the donation. So we have had a couple of donations in the super chat window, so thank you guys for these. It's Randy who has donated $5, and that's a straight up donation. Thank you for that. And Mike has donated $5 as well, so thank you for that, Mike. The message is Funk49 is great. Chris Alexander with Samantha Fish did an absolutely fabulous version of this on bass, so thank you for that, Mike. And let me see what happens when we close the poll, because we're going to be calling the poll to an end. I'm going to click on it and see what happens when we end the poll. And it just disappears. And I don't know what happens in terms of seeing the result. Maybe it'll show the result somewhere. Maybe it shows the result on your screen. It doesn't show it on mine. But I could see... here we go. So the poll is about to go through. It says, please vote for tonight's cover as we have a tie. And it says Behind Blue Eyes was 79% of the vote. A Design for Life was 20%. And the poll is complete with 154 votes. So thank you everyone for voting in the poll tonight. We are going to be taking a listen to Behind Blue Eyes as voted for by you guys in the live chat room tonight. And as requested over on Patreon, you gave me at least a couple of options. They were just tied, so I've put it into the live chat room. But it could be good in the future for you guys over on Patreon to come up with 1 or 2 or 3 potential covers and then have a vote on it. Maybe that's a more democratic way of doing it, possibly, than me choosing, because it is just me choosing from the requests, depending on which one gets requested most. And then if it is a tie, previously I've just been choosing one, but it might be good to throw it to you guys in a poll in the live streams. It could be good to have you guys just choosing what happens in these live streams rather than me doing it all the time. But anyway, thank you guys for voting. We will be listening to my version of Behind Blue Eyes in a second. And just to say that Mio has donated $50 as well in the super chat window. Thank you so much for that. And it's the picture of a guy sitting on a firework and then exploding. So, not recommended, but he looks like he's having fun. So, who are we to say anything to stop him having fun? So, anyway, thank you, Mio, for that $50 donation. It is massively appreciated. And thank you guys for all of the donations in the live streams, because they do make a huge difference, and it's just a bonus as to what I can do and what I can get in the future with hard drives and everything. I have mentioned this before, that if I didn't get donations and didn't have the support over on Patreon from you guys, then if I didn't have, and this happened early on when I started with the analysis videos, I wouldn't have the money to buy the hard drives. So it would be the case that it was a bit of a case of trying to teach as much as possible to make the money to then get the hard drive so that I can continue to make the videos. But it was also the fact that I was spending time deleting old videos for the hard drive to then free it up to then do new ones. So it was a bit of a pain, but now I can just buy a new hard drive when I fill one up, which is a lot more efficient. So thank you guys. That's just a small example of what the donations allow me to do. So thank you guys for all of these very kind donations. And we are going to be jumping into the cover for tonight as voted for by you guys, and it's going to be my version of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who, of course. I hope you do enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free. What it's like to feel these feelings like I do, and I blame you. No one bites back as hard on their anger. None of my pain or woe can show through. But my dreams, as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free.
Hello, Phil here. Thank you so much for watching my cover of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. I hope you enjoyed it. The names that you can see going up the screen here are the names of my patrons, who I'd like to say a massive thank you to for their support and for making videos like this possible, and for making all my videos possible on YouTube. So thank you guys, your support is massively appreciated. If you want to join me and the gang over on Patreon, head to the link below, the little square link, click on that and that will take you through to the site. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock! And there we have it, and I just got that Patreon website up on screen again, in case you guys want to go there in order to get your name on these live streams and all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, I've grabbed the guitar in order to try and do a little bit of a demonstration of, I realised that I could use my phone to listen to Jive talking. by the Bee Gees. So I don't know whether you guys were able to hear this over the mic, but when I said about, it's all about making your guitar into a percussive instrument, and hopefully this won't be enough to get a copyright infringement or anything, but just listen to the beginning. If you can hear it over the mic, maybe you can't. So the whole beginning of the song is literally going, just hitting those muted strings. Obviously, I've got distortion on my amp. They haven't got that. So sometimes you might hear a little harmonic coming out because of the distortion. But if I was just rolling off a little bit of that, you got that. And it's all that kind of jump that you get in there. Let me have a little listen, not close to the mic, so we can get the chord. Okay, so we've got the wah-wah pedal in there as well. So that's something that I did mention that you'll get in disco music quite a lot. That opening of the wah-wah, and we've actually got the top end of our chord here. So we're going to be in C, and we've got this. And it's really emphasizing that. And the downstrokes. Like I said, it's about keeping that really nice and loose with the wrist. Now, if I had a wah-wah pedal, I would be opening it on the upstrokes. We go up there, so you get that closed sound, and then open at the end. So you get that. I'm not going to demonstrate it vocally because it's going to sound stupid, but that's kind of how they're applying it in Drive Talking. I'm just going to have another listen. Yeah, that's it. It's that. And all of those muted strums that are going on, those have wah-wah pedal on them as well. So you get that really cool change between just the sound of each strum, because you can go from closed to then open with the wah-wah pedal, and it's going to give it that sound, especially if you're emphasizing the rhythm of the track with the wah-wah pedal. It means that you can literally start to open on the offbeats if you want to emphasize those, or you can do it on the beat if you want to get more of a strict kind of military forward sound to it, but emphasizing on the offbeat is what's going to really give it the personality. And that's why right at the end, when we have this, that upstroke, that right at the end of the bars where it's getting emphasized with that wah-wah pedal. But anyway, this is pretty much something that you'll find in lots of disco songs. I'm just going to look at one rather than going through lots. Hopefully that audio won't get picked up by YouTube because it's on my phone and maybe it's a little bit far away, and I didn't play it for very long, so we might get away with it. But that is... I'm just thinking of the chords. So yeah, I think those are the chords as it goes down. But anyway, we're not going to be doing Jive Talking tonight because, yeah, live analysis videos are very dodgy indeed. But if you want to get into that groove, that funky rhythm as well, that... You want to get that wrist going like that, because if you try and do that with a straight arm, it's not going to work. It's going to, because you can't move your arm that fast. It's all in that wrist, as you can see. Just, you can start to really speed up your strumming by keeping that wrist loose and not cover lots of distance. This is the other thing, that there, when I'll slow it down, when I was going... The double time strumming that I was doing, like that, I'm just catching the middle strings, really. So I'm not actually covering a lot of distance at all. If you try and strum really quickly with that right hand across those strings just going too far. There's no way that I would be able to go that. I wouldn't be able to go that quickly if I was going up and down, because it's too much distance to cover in order to get speed. When you want to speed up your strumming, you need to cover less distance to achieve that, and hopefully that kind of makes sense. I mean, it does just from a biomechanical perspective with your arm. If you're covering more distance, it's going to take more time to cover that distance, which means that each strum is going to last longer, whereas when you want to do it really quickly, those strums have got to be a lot shorter. The shorter you make them, the quicker you can get them, to the point where when you're doing it on one string, that's where alternate picking comes in. That is almost like a strum that's been taken all the way down to just one string, from going until you end up just hitting one string, but it's still that same motion. Obviously, when you're alternate picking, it's a little bit more controlled. I tend to anchor on the bridge of the guitar to give myself a bit of a solid bass in order to be able to pick that string, alternate pick, and be really controlled with it. But when you are strumming, you're not going to be doing any of that anchoring. You still want to be loose there, and you don't want to be inhibited by your wrist being stuck. You want to keep it really loose. But anyway, that is, I mean, it's interesting in that I said that the most important thing that you want to focus on is those muted strums, and the song that we get suggested literally starts with those muted strums. So add a wah-wah to that and you'll be sounding disco before you know it. So thank you for the donation and for the request earlier on. I'm just going to have a little scroll up to see if I've missed. I know that there has been the donations coming in on PayPal, so thank you for that. And it was Patrick that originally came up with the Drive Talking, so thank you for that. And also just the question about pop and disco, and then funk that we had as well. But anyway, getting back into the PayPal donations window, let me see if I can get that up on screen. And there it is. So there has been another one that's popped in there, and it's Jean who has donated £6.88. Thank you for that, Jean. And the message is spike the likes, and how about freak out for disco? So thank you for that, Jean, and yet another classic disco track. So thank you for that, Jean. And I think I'm probably on thin ice with the copyright thing anyway, even though all I'm doing really, this is what's so stupid, is that all I'm doing is playing a C chord and strumming the guitar in a particular rhythm, and copyrights have got so ridiculous that they're now trying to claim that just a strumming pattern and a chord, whereas I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tries to copyright chords and say, oh, C, that's my chord, I'm copywriting C, so that if you use it in your song, it's my chord and I get to have a royalty for the song that you've used my chord in. I mean, the stupid thing is, I just relate it to talking. That all of these words that we use, we haven't invented them. They were already there. Somebody else has created the English language and we're now using the words, but they're not charging us to use the words that we need to use to communicate. It's the same thing with music. That these chords and all of the notes, we need those to communicate music. So even saying, oh, if you use this chord followed by that chord, regardless of the rhythm, I want to copyright that. There's been some crazy cases where people have literally played a couple of chords and they've then had a copyright claim on their videos. So it's like trying to copyright the words that we're using, that we talk to each other. And if somebody says, roulette, that's my word. You've got to pay me every time you say roulette because I invented that. It's my copyright. I own it. And as we had recently on the channel with Simon and Garfunkel with the I think we had this is, as soon as it's Scarborough Fair was the song, but as soon as I was trying to think of Scarborough Fair, my brain just wouldn't give me the name of the song. So anyway, it was Scarborough Fair. And I said about in the video that's originally been recorded in the late 40s, and it had been a folk song, a traditional song for many, like hundreds of years potentially before. It was recorded in the late 40s and the 50s, and then Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel put their names to it, saying that they had written it, which meant that and legally that's absolutely fine because it didn't have a copyright to it because it was just known as a traditional song. And that, in the eyes of the law, is okay, but obviously musicians had a bit of a problem with it because they thought, well, that's really not what you should be doing because it's a traditional song for everyone to share. But from then on, 1966, it was now classed as something that had been written by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. So that's how copyrights can work in that way, that when you've got a chord on the guitar and a strumming pattern, I don't think you should be able to copyright that because it's not, even though you have used that knowledge to make your song in the first place. So you can't then claim that because you can say, well, who did you learn that chord from? Because if anything, we should be paying them because you used their chords to come up with your song. It would get so ridiculously complicated. I think it's already a bit stupid the way that it runs at the moment. The copyright is just so over the top where, yeah, as I said, people are getting their videos claimed and removed for just playing 2 or 3 chords from a song. So yeah, they should put in a claim on the people who wrote the song saying those aren't your chords that you're using. Somebody else came up with those before you. And somebody else invented the guitar. So every time somebody plays a song on the guitar, they should have to pay a royalty because they didn't make this object they're using in order to create their music. As I said, it can get crazy if you want to keep going back. How far do you go back? Anyway, back to the super chat donation window. We've had one that's come in from Ginny. Thank you for that. And it's for $5. Thank you. And the message is, Phil, wasn't Dennis Coffey the first person to introduce the wah wah pedal? If not, who was it? Thanks. And this is going to have to be one for a Google search because, not that I can do it while I'm live streaming, but Dennis is one of those that I think potentially is something that I'm going to have to look into and research and think who used the wah wah pedal to begin with. This is the same kind of thing that we had earlier when mentioning the voice box, because that was something that I think when Peter Frampton used it, for example, it then became something that people then attributed to him, even though it had been used previously, but maybe didn't get a lot of exposure. So it might be one of those cases that we'll have to look into it because it might have been used previously, or at least the first recording might have not been what we know from Dennis or Dennis using it. So we will have to see what happens with that. And Lucy's just come in, and maybe Lucy's done a little Google search because Lucy has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And says the first wah pedal was created by Bradley J. Plunkett at Warwick Electronics Incorporated / Thomas Organ Company in November 1966. So thank you for that, Lucy. And there we go. So we've at least got the invention and the creator. Whether that then crosses over into being the first artist kind of credited maybe with a recording, we will find out. So that'll be the next stage of this investigation that we've now started. So thank you for that, Ginny. Not that we'll be able to continue it for too long because it's already gone past 1 a.m. here. So we are going to be jumping into the picture that we're going to be taking a look at Howard, I do believe, and in order to get this on screen we have to go to a different location and get the background up on screen. So just as I say that, I get a reminder for updating software, which isn't great during a live stream, but let me try and find where I was at, and I should disappear for a second. And we should have Howard up on screen here. So thank you, Howard, for uploading this picture, and Carla also for linking me to it, and Vince as well for linking me to the pictures over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook, which you guys can join if you do use Facebook. Just type in Wings of Pegasus supporters and you will find the group there. But this is Howard, who's also known on YouTube in the live streams as HowCoTube, and here he has his signed album and my very unneat handwriting on there as well. And we have the pick roulette pick that has been won by Howard as well. So congratulations on winning that in the past, and thank you for purchasing the Wings of Pegasus album, and you guys can grab that over at wingsofpegasus.com, which looks like that. If you want to go straight to the music page, go to wingsofpegasus.com/music. So let's have a little look at the likes for the moment. We have 232 likes, which means we are looking for another 33 people to hit that thumbs up. So if you could give a spike of the likes, that'd be much appreciated. We are going to be jumping into, let's get rid of the guitar, because we're going to be jumping into the pick roulette for tonight. So I will disappear from the screen, and this is where I wish everybody luck. Hopefully it is your lucky night tonight. And let's jump into this, and I'll see you guys in a second. And it's 234 likes. I always point that out. I don't know why, but I just like the way it looks. 234. Let's get into the pick roulette, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's see if we can get our roulette wheel up on screen. There it is, and you're able to see on the wheel we've got the t-shirt just going through there with the hearts next to it, because that's for the t-shirt roulette if we do land on that. So what we do on these, if it's your first time watching a pick roulette, we give it a shuffle 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're totally random, and this is the point at which I say good luck, but let's pick out somebody for my top tip to win. I'm going to choose Rick Lee. We'll go for Rick. That's my top tip, and let's give it a spin and see if Rick is going to win. Obviously the odds of this actually being correct are very, very slim, but I always try to pick out a name, even though sometimes I do forget, but it is slowing down. So let's see where Rick is going through. I haven't seen his name, but we might be able to see Mel's just gone through there, Lou, Sandy, Deborah. Is it going to get as far as Lisa? Maybe. Bev has just gone through Lisa, Linda. What about Boogie Budgie? or Boogie, as they say over in the USA. And it is Boogie Budgie. So congratulations to you, and a very entertaining username there. And I'm just going to move it across a little bit so we can see that it is Boogie Budgie, as we say here in the UK, or Boogie Budgie over in the USA. So congratulations to you. If you can let yourself be known in the live chat room, that would be good, so that Carla can grab you, get all the details from you in order to send off your Wings of Pegasus pick, the signed pick that you can only get on these very live stream pick roulette wheel things that we do. So congratulations, commiserations to everybody that sadly did not pick up a pick tonight, but the good news is we're going to be having another pick roulette on Saturday, and if you keep hitting that thumbs up, then we'll have another pick roulette next week. We've got another 26 likes that we are looking for. We are looking into that live chat room for 26 more people to hit that thumbs up in order to get us to that target. So congratulations, Boogie Budgie, and commiserations everybody else. But let's now remove that from the screen, and hopefully next week you guys can get your hands on this. But there is one on Saturday as well, so tune in on the Saturday live streams to double your chances effectively if we reach the targets for the likes, so that you can have a chance on a Saturday and a Tuesday of picking up a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So Thank you, Carla, for sorting that all out as well. I know that there have been some more donations in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those. And in the Super Chat window as well. But we'll do the Super Chat in a second. Let me just have a little scroll up because we have had a donation from Patricia, which is for £3. Thank you for that, Patricia. And the message is, hey, Phil, love your album and your channel. Wish you weren't chained to your computer /studio, though it has given me an idea for a novel about an internet rock star who is held hostage in his basement studio by demanding online fans who refuse to let him stop posting songs, analysis, and video covers. Let me know if you have any ideas on how my hero escapes. So thank you for that, Patricia. And this sounds like one of those stories that is very much in progress at the moment. We'll have to see how it ends, if it ever ends at any point. But I think it could be a very long story, a long novel, because it's certainly been going a long time so far. Especially if you go back all the way to when I was 19, starting my first band. But yeah, even the last, maybe 3 or 4 years on YouTube, there has been a lot going on. And I don't know how many videos I have now on YouTube. It's probably about 300, 1,500. I remember getting past 1,000 videos, but then as to how many it is now, I do not know. But thank you, Patricia, for that donation, and keep working on the book. We'll see how we all end up, what the ending is. But thank you, Steve, as well, who has donated. Steve's donated £1. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, how do you compare that disco strum to the basic strum of ska? So thank you for that, Steve. And this is something, it's 10 past 1 here, so I don't think I'm going to have time to really get into it. But what you're going to have in ska, I mean, I'm not an expert. I haven't spent a hell of a lot of time playing ska or reggae. But generally what you have is more of a bounce in the sound, more of a swing in the sound. So it means that when you're playing, we'll keep it in C like we had before, but we have the strum on the root note of your chord and then a very prominent down up. So we have this, and you can even miss out the strum on the low E string on your root note, but obviously it's going to help you guys to get your ear in tunes to what I'm playing here. But if I miss out that low E, if I was to miss it out, you wouldn't get the relevance of then the other strums. So if I had the like that, you can hear the amount of swing in there, that like that, rather than going and just playing straight. You kind of want to really delay that final upstroke and then catch the strings. And try and put a little bit of that kind of groove and swing into it. It does help to bounce down to your root note of the chord, because then it gives you, a little bit of a reference point to where you then place the... You can even throw in that little strum at the end, but you can do it without. And then just hitting the strings again is a really great way of keeping everything moving along, getting a little bit of a percussive sound into what you're playing. If I'm going... You can start to play around with it, but fundamentally that little downstroke, delay the upstroke to give that little swing, and that'll give you kind of more of a kind of reggae sound. But that's the real difference. I mean, when you're playing through a disco like we had before, there's not that exaggerated swing to it and that delay of those effectively offbeats when we're doing those upstrokes. So you just delay that ever so slightly and you'll start to get that more relaxed feeling to it, because that's literally what's happening, is your strum is coming in late. So it sounds relaxed because it's not in time. It's like you're late for an appointment, that's musically what's happening. You're very relaxed. You are laid back. You're laid back from the beat. You're not coming in exactly on the beat, which is, what you tend to do in other more mainstream genres of music like pop. It's always straight down the line. And just an example there very quickly. Like I said, we're going to be calling things to a close, but we will have a little look at our likes goal because we're at 244. So it means that we are looking for 21 more people to hit the thumbs up before the end of the live stream. We do have another few donations to get through as well, so thank you, Steve, for that. And Beth has donated £17.19. Thank you for that, Beth. And the message is, hey Phil and friends on the catch-up crew, good to see you all, with a smiley face and rock horns and a heart. So thank you for that, Beth, and for joining us live. And any of you catch-up crew who are live, hello. If you're not live, hello as well in the future. And keep on hitting that thumbs up even after the live stream has been live, because it really does help the live streams to get out there, but also for the channel to grow as a whole. So thank you guys for doing that. And Lucy has donated £1.60. Thank you again for that, Lucy. And the message is, among the first recordings featuring Wah Wah Pedal were Tales of Brave Ulysses by Cream with Eric Clapton on guitar and Burning of the Midnight Lamp by Jimi Hendrix Experience, both released in 1967. So thank you for that, Lucy. And I was going to mention Jimi Hendrix because certainly he was on the cutting edge of technology. As soon as anything new came along, he was just all over it and really pushed the boundaries for technology in music. I think a lot of bands did back in the 60s and the 70s, especially in the studio as well, just working out ways to not only write great songs, but have unique production value to the songs so that you're hearing things that other bands just weren't doing at the time. But anyway, yes, certainly, I mean, Jimi Hendrix, he's one of those that was an absolute expert at using the wah wah pedal, and that's something that myself and Frank Marino chat about on the channel here somewhere. We were talking about Jimi Hendrix, and Frank was very lucky enough to actually see Jimmy live, and he said he just blew his mind. So amazing stuff. But thank you, Lucy, for that bit of background as well. And we've had another donation that's come in, and this is from Tortoro Porco, so thank you for that. And it's a £3 donation, and it says it's one of those pending ones, but this is why it looks a little bit different on the screen and it doesn't quite line up properly. But thank you, Richard, for that donation. And Linda Z is in the house and has donated £5. Thank you for that, Linda Z. The message is, a long time ago you were asked to play / demonstrate guitar on a live stream, but you said it would be difficult to do that with the amp / guitar / microphone setup that you had. I love that you can play on live streams now. What changed? So thank you for that, Linda Z. And that's just another example of donations and me being able to buy software that allow me more inputs into my interface. I've now got 2 interfaces, so it means that I'm going into the computer from two different how to explain this to people that don't know about music. If you imagine plugging something into your computer, usually, say for example, you've only got 3 or 4 places that you can plug in. Or in my case, I only had 1 place that I could plug in and the other place I couldn't use. Whereas now I've got an interface that's got 2 places I can plug in, which is my old interface, but I've got a new interface where I can put 4 things into the computer. So it means that I can combine those 2. So the microphone is going through one of them, but the other 4 that I've got free means that I can have a microphone to mic up the guitar amp while still speaking through the other interface. This is probably really complicated, but in short, it's from the donations, all of your support, all of the support over on Patreon as well means that I can just save up the money that I need in order to buy the equipment I need. And once I've bought the hardware, I could then buy the software, which is something that Michael Palmisano put me onto in terms of being able to effectively have a mixing desk in your computer to change and route all of the audio going into your computer so that I could route it all into the live stream software that I have and get it all to talk to each other. So that is why. So thank you, Linda Z, for that donation. That is what changed. I just physically couldn't buy the stuff I needed before in order to do it, but now I have the ability to buy the stuff that I need because of the donations. So thank you guys so much for the donations, and Linda Z for that donation, because this is what just allows me to do everything on a day-to-day basis with the channel. Thank you as well. We've got Susan in the house who has donated £50. Thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to scroll down because the message is, hey Phil, I appreciated your talk about copyright claims very much. I studied intellectual property in law school. Maybe in my next career I could help change the laws with a winking face. Thanks for your insights. So thank you for that very kind donation. And it's good to see Susan back in the live streams. And yes, I don't really know a lot about the law. I just know that, yeah, it's all going to get a little bit crazy with the copyright and everything going on YouTube especially. I think YouTube has really just blown it all out of proportion. But anyway, thank you for that very kind donation. And I'm just going to scroll up again because Janice has donated £20 as well. So thank you for that, Janice. And the message is, from Jay Sometimes Lyrical with appreciation. So thank you for that, Janice, and Jay Sometimes Lyrical in the chat window, the live chat window. So thank you for that. And I think we're now up to date with everything there. And it's just refreshing itself. And hopefully that is going to be okay. But I think it is up to date, so I can remove the PayPal window just for a second. So just getting back into the Super Chat window, we are going to be calling things to a close imminently. And we only need 7 more people to hit the thumbs up. So spike those likes. If we do hit the target, then I'll play a video, maybe another video, to then let you guys type I agree, because we're now looking for 6 more people to hit that thumbs up. If you are in that live chat room and you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, now is a fantastic time to spike the likes to ensure that we have a pick roulette next week. So anyway, back into the Super Chat donation window, because we have had a donation from Deborah that has come in for $10. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, someone in the comments section of your video wrote that Simon and Garfunkel felt they could take credit for the song because they added the anti-war lyrics. Oops, sorry, forgot to use PayPal. So don't worry about that, Deborah. And yes, this was the slight amendment that they made to the song, but that doesn't make it an original work. And how things work with copyright, if you imagine any song that you know, say for example Jive Talking that I was demonstrating earlier, at least the rhythm part for, if you took the song Jive Talking and you kept all of the Bee Gees playing in there, you played back the song exactly as it is, as everybody knows it, and you kept all of the lyrical content in there, all of the same words, and you played it all the way through the song, but then at the end, in the background, as a backing vocal, you added different words, people would still say, well, that's Jive Talking by the Bee Gees. They wouldn't say, oh, that talking at the end made it a whole new original piece. And that's why I think even with the extra words, people who knew the song, knew the arrangement as well, just said, well, hang on, no, that is Scarborough Fair. Even though you've added words to it, within the song that weren't originally there, and you might even change the melody, it doesn't change the fundamental song. So I think that's why people had a bit of a problem with it. And I think that if they hadn't written anything new to it, then it would have been even more questionable. But yeah, the fact that they felt they could take the copyright just for adding in more lyrical content, I don't think that really qualifies, because if you did that with any other song and just added other words to it and kept everything else the same as everybody knows it, everybody else would say, well, no, that is that. We all recognize that song for what the song is, and not for what you've added to it, because it isn't transformative. That is probably the key word, that it is not transformative to a point that makes it original. It's not a whole new chord progression, a whole new arrangement, a whole new set of lyrical content. They wouldn't have been able to say Scarborough Fair or use the chords if it was all totally original. But anyway, I think you guys get the kind of vibe in terms of what I'm talking about with, with a look at the kind of copyright law, how it works. But in the eyes of the law, it was fine, because nobody had claimed that copyright, because going back to who wrote it originally, because it was a traditional song, that little bit of knowledge of who wrote it didn't exist. It would have been great to have known somebody and then gone through their descendants as well to know who should be picking up the royalties for Scarborough Fair, but unfortunately that didn't exist. So yeah, Simon and Garfunkel then took that copyright. But anyway, we're looking for 2 people in the live chat room. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, we're looking for 2 people to hit the thumbs up to get us to the likes goal to have a pick roulette next week. So 2 people, if you are in that live chat room, you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be much appreciated if you could, in order to secure us that pick roulette next week. We're looking for 1 person now. And just quickly, Carl has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Carl. The message is just a suggestion to the room. Great time had by all with the Zoom chat in the supporter page. Sold some prints, so spreading good fortune. So thank you for that, Carl. And this is the other thing that and we are at 265 likes. So now everyone, if you want to get your names on that pick roulette wheel next week, type I agree and tag Carla Murray. I'm just going to do a quick example. And here we have at and Carla. And then Carla's name comes up, and then type I agree. I always put lots of exclamation marks to get it to stand out, but you should see that going through. So just type that in your window in the comments section, and then you will get your name on the pick roulette for next week. You'll be able to see my comment going through very soon. There it is. Carla Murray has been tagged. That's the at symbol, and then type her name and type I agree. So thank you, Carl. Oh yeah, the Zoom call. I think this happened after the last live stream on the Facebook group, or the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook. There's also some Zoom calls get put on there as well that you can get involved with. So that's another great reason to join in with that group over on Facebook. And yes, I did receive an invite, so thank you for that, Carl. Unfortunately, after the live streams, I get straight into posting the live stream on Patreon, but also getting into the emails and the comments that have been coming through while I have been live streaming. So I'm pretty much completing messages, as some of you do know. When I get through the comments on YouTube, it's usually about 5 a.m, so it takes me through to that point. So yeah, joining in with the Zoom call isn't something that I can currently do, just purely from a time perspective. I really have to try and get everything done before I then go to bed, because I don't want to be going to bed really, really late, because it's already daylight pretty much when I go to bed. So yeah, I want to try and keep it at 5 a.m. And not too much later than that, even though sometimes it does drag on a little bit. But anyway, thank you for that donation, Carl. And Chet has donated 99 cents as well. Thank you for that, Chet. And Mike has donated $10. Thank you for that, Mike. And the message is, I added a verse to John Prine's Paradise that changes the whole meaning into a climate change and social comment song. I played it on slide. Do you think it will pass? So thank you for that, Mike. And it depends if you're talking about from a copyright perspective. If you've taken John's original chord progression and all you've done is change the words, then yeah, that's still not going to be okay from a copyright perspective. If you were to record your song and then release it and make money from it, that would be a breach of copyright, because it's not a totally original work. You have used somebody else's work and then changed it. Probably in the same kind of way as doing a cover of somebody's song. If you do an acoustic cover of a song that is electric, it's still the same song, you've just changed it to a different arrangement. But also lyrically, if you're keeping the same melody, the melody is copyright as well. So it doesn't matter that you're changing the words. If you're using the same melody, the same chord progression, then yeah, copyright, it won't work in terms of trying to make money from it. It's selling CDs, putting it on the internet for download, that kind of thing, that'll be a breach of copyright. Whereas if you're uploading it and just marking it as a cover, or saying that it's a cover of one of John's songs and that you've changed it, then that might be okay from a copyright perspective on YouTube. You'll have to upload it and see what happens with that particular video on YouTube, because whether you'll get a copyright claim or anything like that, I do not know. It might be hard for them to track it down. And I think it does really depend on sometimes subscriber number of the channel, because if there are a lot of subscribers that subscribe to your channel, then they tend to go through your videos to see if there are any copyright breaches, and that's why a lot of videos, if not all of my videos, including these live streams, have adverts put on them, because they include a cover of somebody else's song, and then they take the revenue from the adverts on the live streams and all the other videos that I do. Anyway, thank you for that, Mike. And Orlando has donated $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, I am glad you all spiked the likes. So a huge thank you to everyone for that thumbs up being clicked. We are going to be calling it to a close now. So I hope that you've got all of your I agrees in there for next week's pick roulette. And I can see that there has been another donation, and Douglas has donated £5.16. Thank you for that, Douglas. And the message is, how about Lick for Under Pressure, the rapper used? So thank you for that. And Under Pressure's been used all over the place, but yeah, for I don't know which rap song it was, but that is copyright, it's sampling. So it means that the original writer of the song receives a royalty for that use of the particular riff in the rap song. Or like R&B and rap do tend to use a lot of samples, which is taking sections from well-known songs, and all of those well-known songs, the copyright owners of those songs then get a royalty, and it is claimed on, you just can't use a famous riff and not have to pay whoever came up with that. You have to if you don't say that it's a sample, then you'll probably get taken to court. It is something that has been in the past on some of my analysis videos, where somebody, an artist, has used a previous riff or run and not credited the original writer or given them any revenue, and then they go to court and usually settle out of court in order to have the arrangement then set up so that they do take money from that. But yes, thank you, Douglas, and don't worry, that is something that is Mr. Deacon, I'm sure, will be taking, and that's how it would be arranged. I mean, Queen were one of those bands that have songwriters with every member of the band. Such a rare thing to have guys within the band that can write songs and all have written a hit. That's something that, with other bands, it's sometimes just one or two of the guys that could do it. But yeah, Queen, I mean, they're just one of those rare things for all time to be able to do that. But anyway, Douglas, thank you so much for that donation. And just scrolling up, because Andrew has donated £8.20. Thank you for that, Andrew. And that is a straight up donation. So thank you for all the donations tonight, guys. And there's been another donation. Orlando has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Vanilla Ice used a sample from Under Pressure in Ice Ice Baby. So thank you for that, Orlando. Another sighting of the classic riff, and a classic riff, like I said, it tends to happen quite a lot, especially when there isn't really a vocal and there's just rapping over the top. You need some kind of hook, because people don't connect with music unless there's music there. And I think a lot of rap, and I say R&B isn't really what it used to be. I mean, rhythm and blues, like back in the day. I've done plenty of artists that here, I think people, when you call out R&B nowadays, they just see it as almost like rap music, and something where there isn't particularly too much melodically going on. It's just more of a rhythmic talking over the top of sometimes a sample, because the sample is what people connect to. Like I said, there's that melody in there and there's that hook, so you need to get hooked in by something musically, and then you listen to the rap over the top. And there are so many rap songs that have done really well by sampling just hits that had just great songwriting in them originally. So yeah, and with some great hooks in there. So anyway, thank you, Orlando, for that. And Sharon's just donated $4.99 as well. Thank you for that, Sharon. And the message is, enjoy your videos. Thank you, sir. So no problem. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We are going to be calling it to a close now. So I hope that all of those I agrees have gone through through that live chat room because it's gone 1:30 here in the morning, so it is a little bit of a late one. So we are, yes, calling things to a close now. But thank you guys for joining me. All you guys in the live chat room, we got Chet in there, Carla and Lynn. Still moderating, keeping everything under control. Deborah in there as well, Billy and Snitchel 1955 something, Corey, and then Katra as well. Deborah's in there, Laurie and Jennifer's still in there as well. So thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. I'm going to be back with another analysis video tomorrow night, and then Friday night as well, Saturday night live stream. Make sure you check that out if you do get a chance. We're going to be having another pick roulette, and then we'll be having, another analysis video on Sunday. So thank you for joining me, everyone, and for hitting that thumbs up. It is much appreciated. You can still do that if you're watching this on catch up. It helps the channel to grow and for these live streams to get out there and for all of the videos to get out there. But thank you for your company tonight. I will be seeing you guys live again on Saturday night, but I'll see you in the comments section of the analysis videos as well. So I will catch you guys at the next one. Have a great rest of the week. Stay safe, wear those masks, follow your government's guidelines, and I'll catch you guys later. Rock!